Right, hello, good evening. By the way, can you join me this meeting right now? Is there any problem with regarding this weather condition? If it is difficult, we can postpone, or otherwise we can continue. So, in my place, it is heavy raining. So, what about you? You all, can you do, or can you continue, or shall we postpone? What about the weather condition in your place? By the way, there's a problem with the Mr. Indiga. Is unable to conduct the spreadsheet lesson, so that's why I take this class. So I expect to conduct the word processing session. So anyway, I think it's 13 or 12 participants. So what's your suggestion? Shall we postpone or continue? So by the way, is there any problem regarding the connecting to this meeting due to this? In my place, there is a bad weather. So what about your place? Yes, no idea. Yes, you can speak. Shall we continue or what do you think about? So what about others? I think most of you are from the Perak area. So shall we continue or postpone to the another day? Yes, I think it's okay for. So then I will continue. Okay. Right, I think it's okay for also then let's start. So, by the way, now, so yeah, I think all of you can see my screen, no? It's okay. Right, I have shared. So, I think now it's okay. Right, so actually, today a module is word processing, right? So let's see some overview about this module, right? So actually, the objective of this module is understand the basic uh, environment of the MS Word, right? And then to understand this text and paragraph formatting and how to work with the tables and how to understand how to perform the mail merge, right? And then some advanced features of MS Word, especially for a thesis writing and the report writing, those things. So this is the content. So I just go through this content, right? So I think most of you are familiar with this content. So introduction and then what is word processing and why do you use this and then what is the importance of this word processing and the popular word processing tools or the software, right? So basically the word processing refer the creation, formatting, editing and manipulate text based document. So simply, reports, memos, and letters, right? So especially when you are creating your resume, right? And when you are writing the thesis, right? So in newsletters, right? So those documents, so we can use the word processing tools, right? So it is word processing, which means which is starting from the creation of the document and end up with it may be an output of the hard output or it may be a soft output, right? So I'm not going to explain each and everything, so because all of you are familiar with these things, right? So in formatting, we have to discuss some how to change the colors, fonts, paragraph formattings, those things, and then text formatting like bold, italic, underline, those things. I think you may have discussed these things in MS Excel as well, right? So, uh, by the way, so what are the word processing applications that we have right now? So, what are the word processing applications right now we can use? As you know, yes. What are the applications? So, in this module, we are going to discuss MS Word, right? So, other than the MS Word, there are a number of applications. So, you can use this, right? So, what are the applications that we have in word processing? In order to do the word processing, what are the applications? What are the softwares that we can use? MS Word is one of them. What else? Yes. Yeah, it says the LibreOffice, or we can use open source applications, right? So other than the LibreOffice, Office, so inside the LibreOffice, we can have there's an application called Writer, and nowadays it's the popular way is using cloud-based applications, right? So Google Docs is one of them, right? So for example, so if you use MS Word, we have to have a license. So to purchase the application and use it, right? Uh, if it is open office, then we have to download it and install in our uh, computer, right? So in that in both cases, so we have to worry about the what you call the memory usage and the our other resources, right? So the other thing is once they update the application, we have to update it, right? So if it is MS Word, so from the 97 to 2003 and then so on, so we have a number of versions: 2007, 10, 13, 16, likewise, right? So once they provide new feature with was the version, so we have to update it, right? So even OpenOffice, we have to update it. But if it is Google or the cloud-based application, we don't need to update it. right? So one the only thing that we have to have internet connection, right? So once if you have internet connection, we can have a account from that Google space. Then we can use the applications, right? So Google Doc is are one of them, right? So which we can use for the word processing, right? The other thing is we can connect from anywhere, and then we don't need the some kind of a storage in our PC, right? So in our computer, we don't need a space. So once if you create a document, so we can save in a cloud or in our a space, right? So we don't need to bring those what you call we don't need to save those documents in our storage, right? So we don't need to worry about actually the storage, right? So once if you create document from here, I can access from here any other place once if you have a internet connection. So that is the most famous way in nowadays, right? So it doesn't matter if you study the MS Word, you can use those techniques in Google Docs as well, right? So I would like to mention that at the beginning. So because most of you uh, use the MS Word, right? And worry about the storage, those things, right? So then it's better to use the cloud-based applications, right? Okay, now let's start our application, which is I think now it's yeah almost 23 participants are there, right? So let's start the our application. So how to open an application, right? So just you can go to the just I'll demonstrate it. So you can go to the yeah, I think now you can see my screen, right? So you can go to the start menu and then just here I have Windows 11. So you can go to the start menu and then you can search any application that you wish. So in my case, I search Word, right? Then this is a Word 2019 version, right? So just you can click on the icon and then it will be open. Word the relevant module version. In my case, I have 2019. So I think all of you can, all of you, yeah. Can you see my screen? I have shared it. Is it okay? Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. Now, so this is the what you call the yeah. So this is the screen that we have at the initially, so at the beginning. So there are two frames, right? So you can have here we have home, new, and open, right? So in right hand side frame we have these kind of icons, right? So actually at the bottom of this right frame we have these two tabs, recent and in. So here we can find the most recently open documents, right? So most recently open documents. And from here we have the number of templates that we can use. So for example, if you want to create a resume or CV, so we can have this kind of template, right? So if you want to create any other document, so we can use these templates, right? So we have a number of templates, right? So we can use these templates. So at the end of this session, this module will see how to use this template, right? So for example, if you need some educational template, you can go to the educational tab, and then from here we can select one of them, right? So for the time being, I'll take a blank document, right? So I'll select blank document. So in this course, we are going to use we are going to study how to prepare a document. So therefore, I'll use the blank document option. Then I will have this kind of a screen, right? So in here, first of all, I'll just introduce this environment, right? So actually, from 2007 onwards, we have this kind of a we call these are tabs. And if you take one particular tab, So there's a we call this is a ribbon, right? So therefore we call this is a ribbon version, right? So if you go to the say view tab, so this is the relevant ribbon for the view tab, right? So each and every tab has their own ribbon, right? So at the same time, at the top of this is, application, we have a we call this is a title bar, right? So within the title bar, we can find a title of the module, right? So here it says the word, right? And especially in here, we can have a file name, right? So by default, it's says Word document one, right? So this is the first document that I have opened. So once if you save this document in a given name or the file name, that name will be there, right? So for example, so if I save this one as a say exercise one, so how can we save this? So we can save the file using this file menu, right? So file. So once if you want to assign a name for the file, we can go to the save as option, and we can select whatever location that you wish to save your document. So in my case, I go to the browse and I'll select say for the time being, I'll select say CEIT, and here I'll create a new folder, say called say MS Word, right? And now I'm inside the MS Word folder. So here I can assign a file name, right? So keep in mind, especially when you are doing the exam or the practical test, first of all, you have to save the file name by you have to save the file by the given file name. Anyway, it's better to save a file by using a meaningful name, right? So here I'm going to demonstrate the exercises. So therefore, I set say exercise one or ex1. So from here we can select the file type, right? So by default it says the Word document. So if you want to save this file as a another different version. So for example, if you want to save as PDF file, you can select PDF. So for the time being, I'll select, I keep the default file type, which is Word document, right? And save it. So I set ex1 as a file name. Now you can see that file name is there, right? So on the title bar, so we can have a title of the application along with the file name. Then when you go to the right hand top corner, you can have this minimize, maximize, and close options. So if you want to close this application, we can close it. So if you want to maximize this application, we can maximize. At the same time, if you want, you can minimize this application, then it will be stored in the taskbar, right? So if you want, you can restore, right? Okay. Then we discuss the file menu, and here we have tabs. We call these are tabs. So if you take one particular tab, there's a specific ribbon. Then if you go to the ribbon, here there are a number of groups, right? So for example, this is the clipboard group. So this is a font group, right? So within the font group, we have a font formatting options or font formatting tools, right? So this is the paragraph group, right? So likewise, there are a number of groups, right? So that group contains the relevant features for that particular group, right? So you can use these icons, or you can go to that here. When you click on here, you can go to that font formatting window, right? So this is font formatting window. So if you want to go to the paragraph formatting window, you can click on this arrow. So in the right hand bottom corner of this group, right? So you'll have this kind of arrow, right? So when you click on here, you can go to the relevant window. So you can click on here, and it will be open the paragraph window or paragraph setting window, right? In other tabs, here, if you go to the view, there are number of categories, right? So that's the thing of these ribbons. And then here we have a rule options. So if you want to, when you are preparing a document, so according to the scale, we can prepare the document by using this rule, right? So if it is not available, you can enable this, right? So actually, by default, that is maybe in yeah, say a hide mode. So if it is hide, you can go to the view tab, and there's a category called show, right? From this category, you can tick on this ruler. We call this is checkbox, right? So you can just put a tick, right? Then it will be enable this rule option, right? Sometimes it is not enabled, you can enable it, right? So both horizontal and vertical direction, we can have this ruler, right? So this is the horizontal ruler. So here we can have vertical orientation, right? Okay. Then, so once if you go to the yeah. So once if you go to the bottom of this application, so if you go to the bottom of this application, uh, left hand bottom corner, right? In left hand bottom corner of this application, we can have number of pages in my document, right? So in my document right now, I have only one page, right? I have only one page. So if you have several pages in your document, right? So it can be, yeah, I have only one page. So for example, if you have several pages, right? So now my document contains several pages, right? So for example, now I have three pages, right? I have three pages. So here we can find the number of pages in my document, right? Here we can find number of pages. Here, page 3 of 3. So for example, now I am in the third page of my document, right? So if I got the first page, assume now I'm in the second page, right? Okay, I go to the second page. Now you can see in left hand bottom corner, currently I'm in second page. I have three pages within this document, right? And in this document, there is no words. That's why it says zero words, right? So if I type say word, right? So now I can see one word. So if I say ms word, ms space word, then you can see two words, right? So number of words. So the word count can be find from this bottom. We call this is a status bar actually. So this is called status bar, right? So here we can find number of pages here, number of words in my document, and here we can find the language that we use in this document, right? So here we use the English US style, and when you go to the right side of this document, right? So from here we can have yeah, here we have zoom in and zoom out option, right? So if you want, you can zoom in or zoom out. And from here, we can have several views. So for example, now I'm in print layout, right? Print layout. So which means if you have if you are going to get a printout of this document, so now I'm in that print view, right? So if you want, you can go to the say web layout. So if you save this one as a web page, so this is the view. So if you want, you can go to the read mode, right? So for the time being, I keep this one as a print layout, right? So here view options, right? So that view options, those view option is those options are available in the view tab as well, right? So for example, now I'm in a print layout, right? So if you want, you can go to the web layout or a read mode, right? Okay, so that's the environment, right? So I think most of you are familiar with this environment. So that's why I just quickly go through this environment. So then, first of all, when you are preparing a document, what you have to do at the beginning? So now I have saved it. So first of all, you have to save the document. Then, as you know, what we have to do before preparing a document at the beginning, assume now we have saved the document. Yeah, I have already saved. Then what we have to do at the beginning? Just feel free. So think most of you are familiar. So that's why I ask these kind of questions, right? It doesn't matter. Just you can, if you can't speak, so just you can send a message. So at the beginning, what we have to do? If you have start the preparing the document, we have already saved. Then what we have to do? Yes. Anybody? At the beginning, what we have to do? Nothing. Just start. Yeah. Yeah, sir. Yes. Got one answer. Send the font style. Yeah. Font style, yeah, we can say. But at the end of the preparation, we can change the font style. First of all, what we have to do, so we have to decide whether you are going to take a printout or a soft output. So if so, you have to know. So if you are going to take a printout into say for the A4 sheet, or it may be a A3, right? So likewise, first of all, we have to set the page layout, right? So that's the basic thing. So for example, by default, this page size is letter, right? So if you are going to, so once if you prepare a document in letter size, then if you are going to take a A4 printout, there may be a problem, right? So therefore, first of all, we have to set up the page layout, right? So when you set the page layout, there are several settings that we have to set, right? So first of all, you have to set the page size, right? So if you are going to take a printout the A4 sheet, so we can set A4 as a page size, right? So if you are going to set the say get a print out of the legal page size, then we have can set the legal. Or if you are going to set A3, you can set A3 or A5, whatever relevant page size. Then you have to set the orientation. So this is a portrait orientation. So if you want, you can set the landscape orientation as well. You know this orientation, right? So then next one is orientation, right? And then you have to set up the margins. So by default, this is a normal margin, which means from top, left, bottom, and right. So keep 1 inch, right? So if you want, we can have say narrow margins, right? So in all the direction, which means top, bottom, and left, right, we have a 0.5 inch. So likewise, we can set the margins, right? So when you set the margin, so if you are going to say bind this document. Sometimes most so when you are preparing thesis, right? So you have to bind this document. So in with that case, so we have to keep some space for binding, right? So in order to do that, so in this page setup, so we can go to the advanced page setup window or the page setup window. So here, when you click on here, you can go to the page setup window, right? So here we can set the margin, right? So now it says the normal margin. From here, we can set the page size, right? And from here, we can set the orientation. So the features that we have in this ribbon or within this group are also available in this page setup window, right? So orientation, size, margins, also all the features are there, right? So in addition to that, so there is a option called gutter, gutter, right? So this gutter means you can keep this gutter, so you can keep space for binding purpose. So for example, so this is the usual document. So if you want to bind this document, we can keep say 0.3 like this, right? So you can have this preview. So for example, when you set 0, if you set this one as gutter space as 0, here there is no space for binding, right? So if you want to keep some space for binding, we can keep some space. By default, usually we set 0.3. And here we can change the gutter position. So in this case, I keep space for binding from the left hand side. If you want, you can set binding space from the top, right? So likewise, we can change this direction, right? So that's the things that we have to do or that you have to set in your document before preparing the content, right? Have you got it? Did you understand? Is it okay? Oh, yes. Did you understand it? Have you got it? Yeah. Okay, the next one is when you typing the when you type the words in here, right? I'll take for the time being. I'll take some random paragraph, right? So I'll take the random paragraph like this. So assume now when you are typing the things like this, right? So it's here. I'll say you can do this likewise, right? So when you type in the words, right? Just now it says the you and just next word is can, right? So once if you feel now assume now I feel this space is not enough for my the next term. Or, let's say you say would, so like this. So if I feel now this space is now I know now this is A4 page size. So this is the right margin of my document. So we'll discuss how to change these margins later, right? So this is the right margin of my document. So if I feel this space is not enough, what can I do? There are two things. The one thing is I can just press the enter and start in the typing from the next line onwards, right? You would do the things something like this, right? The other way is just you can type it. So without considering the space, I can just type it, right? So you just can do, right? Likewise, so here, so if it is not enough, the application will automatically go to the next line, right? So this application will automatically go to the next line. Or you can see this is called cursor. Cursor will move to the next line, right? So if it is not enough, if this space is not enough, the cursor will move to the next line, right? So the what is the correct way? What is the best practice? Yes, as you know, what is the best practice? Just press the enter and starting from the next line, or without considering this space, typing as it is. What is the best practice? Yes, as you know, what is the best practice? Yes, what one answer? Yeah, keep on typing. Yeah. So this is what we have to do, right? So you don't need to press enter key. So you don't need to consider actually this space, right? So without considering this space, what you have to do, just you can keep on typing. So if that space is not enough, then it will move to the next line, right? So at which position or where we can use the enter key? Now you know at the end of the line we can't use the enter key, right? So at the end of line, you don't need to use the enter key. Just you can keep on typing. It will be if the space is not enough, it will be go to the next line automatically. So at which position, right? That we can use the enter key. Yes, in here at the end of the line we can't use the enter key. So in which kind of at which position? We can use the enter key. What is the purpose of enter key regarding preparing the content? Yes. Okay, one says the weather is not good enough. So what about others? Can you stay? It's okay for me. Shall we continue? Yes, we'll continue. No? Yeah. So if all of you can stay, then it's okay for me. Right? Okay. So the only thing the yeah we were discussing about the enter key, the purpose of enter key. So and where we can use the enter key. So when you if you want to break the paragraph or at end of the paragraph, or if you want to separate, or if you want to break the paragraph, that's the place where we can use the enter key. So in here, so this is the only position, or this is the place where we can use the enter key. which means, so when you break your paragraphs, then you can use the enter key, right? So actually you can check that the what you call, where we use the enter key and where we use the space. Uh, if you have two words like this, so we have to keep some space between these two words, right? So prove your point. So prove space your point. So assume by mistake you may keep several space. So here I have three spaces. That is wrong, right? That is wrong. That is not good practice, right? So within two words, right? So we can have a space to actually between those two words we can have a space, right? So to separate words, we can have a space. To separate paragraph, we can have a enter key. All right. So actually, once if you prepare a document like this, we can check that. How can we check that? So go to the home tab, and from this home tab, within this paragraph category, there's an option called show and hide. Show and hide. Right. Actually, at the exam, we'll check like this, right? So that's about your content prepare, right? So you can have this, you can, by default, this is disabled. You can enable this show and hide option. You can enable it, right? So how can I enable? Just click on here. Then this show and hide, no, actually this show option will be enabled, right? So now you can see. So there's a symbol like this, right? So this symbol will be represent you have used the enter key, right? You can see, right? At the end of each paragraph, we can see this symbol, which means we use the enter key, right? At the same time, we can have a dot like this, right? Actually, dot indicate space, number of spaces, right? So one dot means one space. Here I keep three spaces, which is incorrect. This is incorrect format, right? So if you have these three spaces means three dots means three spaces, right? Actually, you have to remove it, right? So if you have enter this content correctly, so accurately, so we can have this kind of thing, right? So one dot between two words and enter key is used and at the end of the paragraph, right? So that is a good practice, right? So keep in mind, you can check your typing like this, right? Okay, have you got it? I think it's okay. Okay, then I'll hide it, right? So actually, this symbol is there. By default, it's hide, right? Okay, now, yeah. Now let's see how to format this document, right? So first of all, let's see the paragraph formatting. Paragraph formatting. I'll upload some exercises. You can do it initially, and I'll upload this video as well, so you can do this in next time. So right now I'll demonstrate it, right? So before doing this formatting or paragraph formatting or text formatting, what you have to do? You have to select this content, right? Let's see how to select the content. There are several ways, all right? So in this case, so assume now I want to select the first line of this paragraph, right? Again, there are several ways. The one method is you can click on this at the beginning of this sentence, right? So you can click on here and you can drag into right side like this, right? So you can click on here, keep your cursor at the beginning of the sentence, and while holding the left mouse key, you can drag into right side, right? Likewise, you can select the first line like this. If you want the both lines or first and second line, you can uh, hold your mouse left mouse key and you can hold the downwards, right? So this is how we select your first paragraph. Similarly, you can select the other paragraphs, other lines or the paragraphs as well. So that is one way. The other way is just you can click on place your cursor at the beginning of the sentence, right? And you can press the shift key and click on the end of the line, right? So place your cursor at the beginning of the sentence and press the shift key and click on the end of the line, right? So if you need this entire paragraph, place your cursor in here and press the shift key and click on the end of the paragraph. This then entire paragraph will be selected. Or you can use this dragging method. That is, there are two ways. The other way is, so if you want to select this first line, just you can, now you can see this cursor, right? Now it's a vertical line. So when you move this cursor for the towards left side, now you can see this is arrow symbol. Now I'm in the left margin, right? So when you click on here, now you can see entire line will be selected. So when you click on here, entire line will be selected. Like this, so you can select the entire line, right? Like this. Just click on from the margin area, right? Click on the margin area, then entire line will be selected. Or just you double click on here, then you can select the entire paragraph. If you double click on here, you can select the entire paragraph like this, right? So that's about selecting paragraph. So if you click on here 3 times, then entire uh, content will be selected. So if you want to select entire document, you can select by using Control A key combination. While holding the Control key, you can press the key A. A means all, right? Then entire content will be selected. While holding the Control key, you can press key A from the keyboard, right? Yeah. So those are the methods to select this paragraph, right? And if you want to select the words from, say, random places. So for example, so I want to select several words in from non-continuous phrase, right? So for example, I want to select the word called video. Just I can double click on this word, right? Now I want to select another word from in a different place. So if you want to select number of words which are not in continuous manner, right? Random places. Then how can I do that? So select the first word, and while holding the control key of the keyboard, right? While holding the control key, you can select the other words, right? So if you want to select other words, you can just use the dragging method, or just you can double click on that particular word. I'll say double click on this word, right? So likewise, we can select the number of words from different places, right? Okay, have you got it? Did you understand? All of you? Have you got it? I think it's very easy. So, okay. What about others? Yeah. Okay, now let's go to the paragraph formatting, right? So first of all, I have to select the paragraph. Then there are several formatting, right? So first thing is alignments, right? So how can we align this paragraph? So by default, you know this paragraph is aligned to the left margin, right? So now you can see this is the left margin, so this is the right margin, right? So here the text are aligned to the left margin. This is called left align, left align. So actually in your exercise you asked to yeah, so this is the first exercise, right? So here you are asked to align this paragraph, right? So this first paragraph is left align, which means all the text in your document move to the left edge of the page, right? All the text of your content move to the left margin of the page, which is called left align. So that is default alignment. So you can see these alignments on this paragraph category, the home tab. Let's go to the home tab and paragraph category. You can see this is the left alignment. So from this symbol also represent that left align, right? So all the content or all the text move to the left margin. Then the right align means, so just you can select the paragraph, and from here, so by default it's left align. So if you want to align right side, from here we can select the right align from the paragraph category, right? So this is the right align, right? Which means all the text are moved to the right edge of the document. You can see, right? And next one is centered align. Center line. Center line means here the text are across the centered margin, centered line of the page, right? So which means, so here we can see by default it's left align. So if you center this paragraph, now you can see, right? So all the text are actually spread to the across the centered line of the page, right? This text are across the center line of the page, right? And then justified paragraph, right? So now this is left align, this is right align, this is center, right? So if you want to align both left and right margin, you can have a justified alignment, right? Which means the text is spread throughout the entire page or entire width of the uh, document, right? Now this text is spread throughout the entire page, right? So that is called justified, right? So those about the alignments. And the other one is space, the line space, right? So by default, now you can see the space between two lines. So if you take space between two lines, so this is the default space, which called 1.0, right? So if you keep 2.0 as a line space, and if you take two lines, so here, if you take two lines, so here again, so between two lines, we can have another two lines. That is called, which means here we have a space for two lines, right? We keep space for two lines, which is called line space, the space between two lines, right? Here, for example, if I say, if I set say a line space is 3, here we have keep space for another 3 lines, right? Which means 3.0, right? So by default, so it's 1.0. So usually we keep 1.5 as a line space. That's different. That's depend on your guidelines. And usually when you are writing reports, so we set here we set 1.5 as a line space. That depends, right? That depends, right? Okay. And there's another special alignment, right? Or we call indent paragraph, right? Indent paragraph. So what's meant by indent? So here, by default, so the paragraph starting from the left margin. By default, this paragraph is starting from the left margin, right? So this is the left margin, right? We keep 1.3 space for the left margin, zero point 0.3 for the gutter, right? So here, just we start the paragraph from the left margin, yeah, left edge. Actually, this is the left edge. Margin is 1.3. So we start from the left edge, right? So if you want, we can keep some space, right? So we can start the paragraph by keeping some space from the left edge. So how can we do that, right? So there are several ways you can use this rule option, or you can go to the paragraph settings window, right? So here there is a category called indentation. Indent, we call indent, right? Here, yeah. So I mean here indent, we can keep some space from the keep space between left edge and the paragraph, right? Here we can have preview, right? So we can see, right? Here we have preview. So if you keep some space, say 0.5 inch from the left indent, right? Now we can see here this paragraph is starting from 0.5 inch from the left edge, right? From the left edge. So this is the left edge of this document, left edge, right? And the paragraph is starting out of 0.5 space, which means the space between the left edge and the paragraph is 0.5, right? So we'll see applying this. Click OK. Now you can see, right? So all the other paragraph are starting from the left margin, left edge of the document, while the last paragraph is keep zero point 0.5 space between left edge and the paragraph, right? So that's called indentation, indent. So this is the left indent. As similarly, we can have the right indent as well, right? So we can set the right indent as well, right? So that's about the indentation, right? Give me a minute. Right? So that's about the left indentation, right? So here there is a special formatting. Once if you keep the indentation here, there's another formatting called special formatting, right? Here we can set the first line 0 0.5, which means here, can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Is it okay? Hello, can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Is it okay? Hello? Okay. Okay, so we were talking about the yeah, we were talking about the indentation and the space. So here, so if you keep say first line 0 0.5, so the first line will be started after 0.5 inch from this indentation. So altogether 1 inch from the left end, right? So indentation space means, so here space between left edge and starting point of the paragraph, right? So here the special indentation means the first line keep 0.5 inch from the indent space. So altogether 0.5 means 1 inch from the left margin, right? And there's another special indent space called hanging, right? So you can see this preview, right? Hang means, so uh, yeah, all the lines except the first line, right? So rest of the paragraph, right? Rest of the paragraph or the rest of the lines hang. The lines are hang of the first line, right? So like this, right? So which is like this, right? Which means except the first line, all the other lines are 0 0.5 other lines are shift by zero point 0.5 inch, right? Except the first line, rest of the lines or rest of the paragraph shift to the right side by zero point 0.5 inch, right? So that's what we call hanging space, right? Here, zero point 0.5 hanging space, right? Have you got it? Did you understand? Yes or no? Did you understand it? Okay. So that's about the indentation, right? Okay, so that's the first exercise, right? So we'll go one by one. Then the next one is formatting, right? So now I want format. I want to prepare uh, invitation like this, right? I want to prepare invitation like this, right? So let's see how to prepare this kind of invitation, right? So actually, the exercise uh, you have, you have been given these instructions, right? So these instructions are given, right? So I'll upload this exercise, right? So that you can practice this, right? I'll demonstrate how to do this, right? Okay. Now, first of all, so if you are going to formatting your document, so first of all, you have to enter this content into your document, right? So I'll create a document called say exercise 2. So I'll take new document. So go to the file and go to the new option. Then we can have a blank document. Or there is a shortcut to do this, right? So the best thing is you can go to the shortcut. So what is the shortcut? So now I'm in this exercise 1 document. So I want to create a new document, right? So you can go to the file and new, or you can have a shortcut. So you can use this shortcut. While holding the control key, you can press the key N, new, N for new. So this is the easiest way, control N. And you can paste your, just you can type, in your case, you can type this content, right? So I just copied from this exercise. In your case, you can type the content, right? Right, now I'm going to prepare, yeah, this one. I want to prepare this invitation, this one, right? Okay, now you can see, so there are several formattings, right? So first one is this heading, right? And before that, you have this kind of a border. So here we have a border, right, around the content. So if you ask to do the formatting like this, so first of all, what you have to do, you have to enter the content like this, right? So don't worry about this uppercase, lowercase, right? The case, it may be capital or simple. You can just enter, say all the text are in, say simple letters. No need to worry about that, right? So first of all, I'll select this entire content, right? And at the beginning, first of all, I have to save this, right? So I'll go to the file, save, or you can use this save option. And I have a folder called MS Word. I save this one as say exercise say 1_1 invitation. Or just I save this document as invitation, right? So this is my document. And I'll select this content, right? So I think you can't see this now. Yeah. Now, yeah, this is my document. So this is my content, right? Okay, I'll start from the beginning. So this is what I want to do, right? So I want to prepare an invitation, right? So this is the invitation content. This is the invitation content. So first of all, you have to insert this content. It may be by a simple low or capital, just simple letters, lowercase letters, right? And first of all, what you have to do, you have to select the content and you have to center this content, right? So how can you center this content? Select the entire paragraph, and from this paragraph category, so we can center this content. Now I have centered this content, right? And then I have to draw a border around this invitation. select the content, and from here we can select the we can set a border, right? So there are several border options. So you can have all borders, right, and outside borders. So in this case I need the outside border, but so this is the default outside border, right? But I need some formatting of this border, so therefore I go to the border and shading option, right? Border and shading option. So there are two borders, right? So the border is called content border and the page border. Usually borders means the border is applied to the content, right? Or you can set the border for the page. You can set the border for the page. You can select the page border tab or a border tab. So we'll see the difference between borders and page border, right? I'll go to the border, and from here I'll select a border from the border tab. So from here we can select the any styles that you wish. So for example, I'll select this particular style. So if you want, you can set the color as well. And from here I can set in the shadow or box style, right? Actually that's the setting, right? So I'll select box and I'll apply this border to the all sides, top. If you want, you can remove this top border. So if you want, you can remove this the bottom border. So if you want, you can remove the left or right borders. So I'll select the top, bottom, left hand side borders and click on. I think your mic is on. With A2014. Yeah. Now that's about the borders, the content border, right? So if you wish, you can set the page border as well. You can go to the borders and shading, and I'll select the page border. So for the time being, I'll select this dotted line, and the color is, let's say, blue. And now you can see. So this is the page border. So once if you set the page border, right, to be applied to the whole document, right? So this is another page. This is the second page. Now this page border has been applied for the document, right? So you can see the difference between the page border and the content border. Usually we don't use the word called content border, which means the border has been applied to the content, right? So in our case, this is considered as a paragraph, right? So we need this content border, right? So here we want to apply the content border. Okay, now it's okay. Now I'll select the entire content again, and I keep say 1.5 line space. 1.5 line space, right? Okay, so that's about the paragraph formatting. Then now I want to convert this text into the uppercase. Now you can see this is in a lowercase, so simple letters. So I want to change this font formatting as well as the case formatting, right? So how can I change this case? Case means the simple means lowercase, capital means uppercase, right? So select the first term, or the this is called heading of the invitation, right? The term invitation, select this. And from here, so from the font category, we can change the set the font formatting. Font formatting. So how can I change the font formatting? Go to the font category. So from here, first of all, I want to set the change the case, right? So here that's up to the what you call the requirement. It's up to the requirement. So here, uh, click on here, then it will be dropped down. So from here we can select say uppercase, then it will be changed to the uppercase. So if you want, you can change to the say capital each word. So for example, there are two words. The each words started from the uppercase, right? And if you want, you can change to the lowercase. If you want, you can go to the sentence case. Sentence case means uh, starting letter is capital or the uppercase. The others are simple. So if you want, you can go to the uppercase. Likewise, from here we can change the case. All right. So if it is a capital each word, first letter is capital, others are simple, right? So if you toggle the case, toggle means inversion of the current. Here, the currently first letter is uppercase, the others are lowercase. Toggle means the first letter is lowercase, the others are uppercase. If you toggle this one, then first letter will be uppercase, the others are rest of the term become lowercase. Toggle, right? So likewise, we can toggle these cases, right? Uppercase and lowercase. And from here, we can change the font type, right? So actually, in this exercise, what you call this instructions are given, right? So you can do this, right? So for the time being, just I demonstrate it, right? So here you ask to change this font into the monotype, right? So how can you change the font type? So you can select from here. There are a number of font styles, right? So you can search this. If you want to say mono, you can change this, right? So you can search this, right? Say MO, or whatever font type, right? So uh, you can select the required font type or the given font type, right? So likewise here we can change the font type, right? Indentation or whatever font, right? And from here we can change the size. So you are asked to set 36, I think. And from here we can set the font color, right? So if you want, we can set say blue or dark blue. Or so if these colors are not enough, so you can go to the more colors, and then from here we can set the RGB code, or we can select the color from the color palette, right? Okay, so that's about the font format, right? Okay, and the second one, so the second line, it should be a sentence case, or you can change the capitalize each word. So usually this article, so this term called off should be lowercase, and here you ask to set the font type, right? So you have to set these font types according to the instructions, right? So I'll upload this exercise so that you can do this, right? So the size is 22, and then the font type is, it says the comic, right? So you can change the font type from here, right? And the size is 22, and the color is called green, right? Okay, and if you want, you can bold this, right? Now I want to apply the same formatting. I want to apply the same formatting for the another sentence. So for example, so here there's a formatting: comic, bold, and green. Size is 22, right? So I want to apply the same formatting for the this particular line, right? So let's say this is capitalized each word. So I want to apply the same formatting, which means this should be font type is comic, and size is 22, and color is dull green, something like that. So there are two ways. So I can select this and do the formatting. I can repeat the same format, right? It takes much more time. So if you want to do the same thing again and again, it will time consume. So how can we do this, right? There's a simple way, right? So you can select this the term that you have already applied the formatting, right? So here select terms or sentence which has been already applied the given formatting, right? And from here there's an option called format paint. Format paint. You can select this format paint option, right? So now I copy this formatting, right? Copy this formatting, and now you can see this mouse symbol, right? So there's a little brush symbol, right? So you can see that, right? So if you go to this cursor, now you can see this arrow. When you go to this line, now you can see along with this cursor, you can have a brush, right? Which means which the brush contain the formatting of the selected terms. How can you do that? Select the line and enable this format paint option. Then we can select the sentence that you want to apply same formatting. I'll select this. You can see that. So the same formatting has been automatically applied, right? So that is the easiest way to apply the formatting which has been already applied for the another or any sentence, right? Okay, have you got it? Did you understand? Think it's easy, right? Okay. Now the programming in .NET should be red, right? So I'll select programming in .NET. Yeah, select this. It should be uppercase. From here we can change this is on into uppercase, and this should be a comic, right? And it should be a red, right? So these instructions are given, right? So you can select this, and if you want, you can bold it, right? And all these titles, so these are called titles. These are starting from uppercase, right? So you can practice this, right? Actually, you can practice. I'll upload this one, and yeah, and several formatting. So here we can change this one into say 14, and if you want, you can change this formatting as well. Special formatting from here, right? So I want to format this date, time, and menu. So all the terms should be starting from the uppercase. So I want to, I can apply this formatting one by one, or you can select these three terms. So I can select this, double click on here, and while holding the control key, you can select the other two terms. While holding means while press this, you can press the control key and keep as it is, then select the other terms. And from here, each term should be starting from uppercase. So this is the date. So in here, you can select, here this is underlined by red line, right? Underline. That means there's a problem with this spellings. So here there's a, this is underlined by blue line, which means the problem with this formatting. Formatting means the space or whatever formatting. Just you can right click on here and they will suggest this formatting and it will be corrected, right? So you can right click on here. Then now you can see what is the suggestions. Suggestion means M starting from uppercase, right? So I'll select Monday starting from uppercase. And here again the suggestions will be starting from uppercase. Then here TH should be superscript. There's a format font formatting called superscript, which means here we can select these two, and from here we can select the superscript X square, something like that, index, right? And there's another term called subscript. Let's see later, right? And here also the terms should be starting from each word should be starting from uppercase. Okay. Okay, so those are the things that we have to do in font formatting, right? And there are some special formattings as well, right? So for example, I'm not going to discuss it within this exercise, but I'll demonstrate it, right? So if you want to, yeah, I'll go to the next page. So for example, if you want to write the term something like called say H2O, right? So here two should be here up we call subscript, right? Here to subscript. So x to the power 2 should be superscript. Select the text, and from here we can select sub with the subscript or superscript, right? At the same time, if you want to say strike particular a line, say if you want to strike, you can select the term, and from here we can strike, keep strike, right? So likewise, there are several font formatting, right? So if you want to underline the text, you can underline. So for example, if you want to underline say invitation, so you can select this and you can underline from here. So this is the default underline. So if you want some styles, so from here we can have more underline styles, right? So here number of underline styles, right? So like this wave, right? So whatever underline style that you wish to use can be applied, right? So likewise, there are a number of ways to do this, right? I think I need to explain those things, right? So if you want to, you can italic this text like this. If you want to, you can bold this text, right? So that's about this font formatting, right? Have you got that? Is it okay? I just go through these things because I think these are familiar with you, right? The font formatting. Is it okay? Think some of you have leave. Is there a problem regarding this weather conditions? I think it's okay, no? Anyway, I'll upload this video, right? Okay, so that's about the font formatting. understood means it's okay, right? Anyway, by the way, you have to do these exercises. I'll upload, and then it's better to practice these things, right? Okay. And shall we continue? Or yeah, another 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. Okay, we'll continue. Now, next one is we'll do. I want to explain this one, right? So, how to do this kind of formatting, right? Yeah. Uh, Share another exercise. Okay, I save and close this. Now I want to do this kind of formatting, right? So okay, this one we have done this, and then I want to do this formatting. This one I want to prepare a document like this. Yeah, this one. Here I just explain this. Then we'll continue next time. Anyway, now I want to do this kind of formatting. You know how to underline. There's a paragraph, and this is called drop cap, right? So this letter has been dropped into two lines, and here this is the the concept that I want to explain. So how to place numbering, right? How to number your content, right? I just copy this content into our document, and then I'll demonstrate it, right? So this is my content, right? So let's see. I'll just prepare this content, right? So when you if you ask to do this kind of formatting, so don't insert these numbers manually, right? So don't insert these numbers manually. So without numbering, you can just enter this we call items. So actually this is a list, right? So this is the numbered list. uh, we can have these items we call these are list items, right? Presentation, those are the items, right? So if you have to do the numbering, first of all you have to insert the items without manual numbering, without putting these numbers manually, right? So you don't need to do this manually. There's an easy way to do this, right? Okay, now just I'll insert this content like this. Okay. Now this is my content, right? Okay, this is my content. Give me a minute. Right, I think there's a problem with this connection. So can you all see this screen? Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, now what I want to do, first of all I'll select this heading, right? And I'll bold it, and here you know how to do this font formatting, right? So I'll change the font type, and then here I set the font type, and here a center, and here underline. So likewise we can change this formatting, and I'll select this paragraph, and from here I'll change the font say line space, and here we can go to this drop cap option. How to drop cap, how to drop this first letter of the paragraph. Go to the insert, and from here we can have this option called drop cap, right? So there are several options: dropped and in margin. In margin means, so here the first letter uh, shift to the margin, right? So we don't need this formatting, so we need to drop this letter into several lines. So I'll select dropped. So by default, it's dropped to 3 lines, but I need to drop, I want to drop this first letter into 2 lines, right? So go to the drop cap and go to drop cap option, right? So from here, we can set number of lines. So I'll set 2 lines and click OK, right? So here the first letter drop to the true lines, right? Here, drop this letter into 2 lines, right? And from here, I can justify the paragraph. I can justify the paragraph, and here the letter is dropped to the 2 lines, right? So that's how we apply the drop cap option. Drop cap, right? Drop the letter and set the number of lines, right? Next one is how to set the numbering style. Numbering style, right? So there are several numbering styles. So here we need some sub numbering as well. We need sub numbering as well, right? So for example, so this is the numbering style that we wish, right? So I want to apply the numbering style like this, right? So I want to apply a numbering style according to yeah, this is the style that I wish to apply. That's, yeah, this style, right? So this is the style that I want to apply. So I'll keep this one as a sample. Yeah. So now I want to apply this particular style, right? You know, here there is a major numbering style, so which is in Arabic number format. And here we have another numbering style, which is called, say, English alphabet lowercase style. And that's the second level. In third level, we have a Roman number style, right? Here, Arabic number style, alphabet lowercase, and Roman, right? There are 3 levels, right? We call it the sub numbering, right? So sub numbering including 2 levels, including the first level as well, right? 2 sub-numbering levels, including the major numbering. So let's see how to do this, right? So first of all, I'll select the these items. We call these a list item. So this is the ordered list. There's an order for this list. So these are called list items. So first of all, I'll select whole list item, right? And from here, so from the paragraph category, so here we can set the numbering style. So this is the major numbering. So this is not what we require, right? So here we have only the major numbering. Here we have the sub numbering styles, including sub numbering style, right? So there are several styles, right? So if you want, you can apply this style. So here we have the numbering levels as well. All the levels has been displayed, right? So I'll select this one. So this is the style that we wish to use. So this is the style that we need to use. The first level is Arabic. The second level is lowercase. The third level is Roman number style. So let's see how to do that. Give me 1 minute. Right? Okay. Let's continue. I want to apply this particular style. So what can I do? Just I select this. So even I select the sub numbering style, you can see only the major numbering level has been applied. There is no sub numbering levels, right? So what? How can we apply this? The style is okay, right? So I'll select this sub numbering style, this one, right? So now I have to configure this. How can you change this? How can we apply these levels? So I'll select these two. So because that is the those are the items that we want to apply the second level. Then I'll select these two. And there are 2 ways to do this. There is a keyboard shortcut as well as this tool. So let's see the keyboard shortcut. I can just press the tab key of the keyboard. Tab. which will move to the next level of the number. So if you want to come back, or if you want to reverse, or if you want to advance the numbering, you can use shift with tab key. While holding the shift key, we can press the tab key. Right. So if you want to go forward, you can press the tab key. If you want to reverse, you can, or if you want to advance the numbering level, you can use the shift with tab. Right. I'll press the tab. Then I'll select the next one. So this is the next item which will need to move to the next level, second level. Select this item and press the tab key. Again, select this one, press the tab key. And I'll select this entire list, because I want to shift the whole content into second level. Then I'll select the whole content, press the tab key. Then I'll select these two, press the tab key to move to the third level or the second sub numbering level. I'll select this one. Actually, no need to select, the keep cursor in here, because here we have one item, press the tab key. Right. So if you want to go forward, or if you want to go to the next line, press the tab. So by mistake, assume I made mistake here. Right. It should be this level 2. Now by mistake, I'll move to the third level. Then I have to reverse. How can we reverse? While holding the shift key, we can press the tab, shift with tab. Right. So likewise, we can go forward as well as reverse. Right. So likewise, we can reverse. Select entire list, reverse. Right. Shift with tab. So that's the keyboard shortcut. The other way is you can have these tools. Here we can have, say, here you can see there are two options: increase indent and decrease indent. Increase indent and decrease indent. Now you know this is very easy. So I'll select these two. So you can do one by one. Place your cursor in here and then increase the indent. Place your cursor in here and increase the indent. Right? Place your cursor in here, increase the indent. Place your cursor in here, increase the indent. So I'll select the whole list. You can do one by one as well. Increase the indent. Select these two, increase the indent. So likewise, we can increase the indent. So by mistake, if you made this one as a second level or this one as a second sub number level, so you can decrease the indent. Select here, decrease the indent. So likewise, we can easily apply that sub numbering style. So once if you apply this style, you can easily change to the other style, because now all the list items are indent. Actually, the items are indent. So select the whole list and you can change this formatting. You can apply any sub numbering list like this. So here this is this is very clear. This is 1, 1.1, 2, 2.1, 3, 3.1, 4, 4.1, 4, 1, 1, 1, 4, 1. Have you got it? Did you understand? Did you understand this? So this is what I want to do. This is how we do, right? Have you got it? What about others? Did you understand? Did you understand how to apply sub numbering? Okay. So there's another two more things to discuss. I think I'll discuss now. It's 8:30. Okay. The other one is how to apply columns and bullets. Right. So we'll do that. So bullet is also similar to the sub numbering, but that is not numbering. So here bullet icons. So how let's see how to set the bullets, right? So here actually these are some these called unordered list. So let's see how to apply bullets. So this is the topic. So I'll select this and bold, underline. So I'll select these items, and from here we can apply the bullets. So you can use any style, this or a check, or you can use circle or any bullets, right? So that's easy thing. So the other one is how to apply columns. Columns. So that means, so you may have seen in some research papers, right? So you have to break this paragraph into number of columns, number of columns. So now I have two paragraphs. Here I have two paragraphs. So these are the two paragraphs that I have, right? I just clear this formatting, right? So by the way, so if you have applied any formatting from here, we can clear the formatting, right? So there's an option called clear formatting, right? Now what I want to do, I want to break this two paragraph into two columns. I want to place these two paragraphs in two columns. So how can I place these two paragraphs in two columns, right? So by default, there's a one column in this document, right? So how can we change these columns, right? So select this and go to layout. From here, we can go to columns. Go to layout, columns. So for example, if you want, you can apply this one into two columns, right? So here just copy this content. That's why this one is in one particular column, but this page is break into the two columns. You can see this in ruler. So you can see this this page is break into two columns, right? Two columns, right? This section is break into two columns, right? Go to columns and two. So I can move this paragraph into the second column. How can I move it? So place your cursor in here. Place the cursor in here because I want to move the paragraph here onwards or the content here onwards. So place your cursor here and go to break and select the column break. Then the entire content starting from here onwards move to the next column, right? So if you do this formatting correctly, or if you type this one, you don't need to do that. But I made mistake and then I demonstrated. So if you need some more formattings, go to the more columns. If you want, you can make three columns or four columns. So I keep two columns. And from here, if you want, you can keep insert a line between these two columns. You can insert a line between these two columns. And you can change the, so by default, it's what you call equally equal width for these two columns. So you can change this width. For example, you can increase the width of the first column. So once if you increase the width of the first column, you can see. So there's a preview, right? So by default, the width of the second column will be decreased, right? And here between these two columns, we can have keep some space, 0.5 inch, right? Here I insert a line in between these two columns. Click OK. Now we can see, even I insert a line, that line is not displayed because here we have one column in my page. Now there are two columns, but this column can be moved to the next column. Similarly, place your cursor here, go to break and break the column. Now you can see there's a line between these two columns. At the same time, the first column is in say 3.5 inch, the second column is 2.5. So you can select these two, and then if you want to, you can change this formatting, right? So you can have a line. So you can change this width. So for example, if you want, you can set say 4 inch for the first paragraph, like this, right? So usually we keep uh, we call equal width, right? You can set the equal width and line between these two, right? So likewise, we can break the paragraph and do the formatting as you wish, right? Okay, so that's about the second exercise. I'll upload these exercises with the instructions, and then I'll upload this a video as well. I have recorded this video. Then you can practice this. Then we'll continue on next week onward. So I think Mr. Indik will conduct Monday. I'll conduct on Wednesday. Right? He will take this spreadsheet. I'll take this word process. Right? Okay, if you have any problem regarding this, you can send message to the WhatsApp group, right? Okay. By the way, have you got this? Did you understand? Oh, it's to speed. Or what about this speed? Is it okay? Oh, it's very slow. Oh, the things cannot be understand. Okay, we'll see you on next week. I'll upload this. Okay, good night. Thank you.